I am in love with zombies. Here's an AI-generated photo to convince you. And when I found out that the 28 years later movie is out in the cinemas, I couldn't get any more excited. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the first two parts of this saga. And by the end of the video, I'm gonna go to the cinema and tell you whether or not it's worth the hype. 28 days later, this is the first zombie movie in the world that introduces the idea that the zombie virus is actually a virus and not something supernatural like other movies did. For example, in this movie, it all starts with one chimpanzee that's being forced to watch Jack Doherty. He's being forced to watch bullshit, and this is why it's corrupting his mind. But of course, stupid PETA arrives with their liberal bullshit because they want to free up the chimpanzees. And even though the scientist warns them and tells them the chimpanzees are literally infected and they're gonna frick you up once you free them, they don't listen. And as soon as the woman frees them, they literally bite her and infect her, and she starts spitting blood and infecting all the others. And this is basically the first encounter in the entire saga where the virus transfers from an animal to a human. And this is how the outbreak actually breaks out. I don't know if that's good English or not, but yeah. The next shot, we see Killian's junk. I don't remember this part of the movie at all. And by the way, I know his name is Killian, but I'm gonna start calling him Cillian until the end of this video, so it just sounds silly. Anyway, Cillian wakes up after being 28 days in a coma. And when he goes downstairs, we learn that the sponsor of the movie is Pepsi. Anyway, Cillian finds London completely abandoned. We have the famous bridge scene, which they didn't use any CGI to make the city abandoned. The director talks about how they specifically filmed in certain hours where everybody was asleep, and they actually used hot girls to ask the drivers to not drive where they were filming. 100 IQ move. And that's how they were able to get these abandoned city scenes in the most busiest streets in London. And by the way, I'm sorry about the quality. The entire film was filmed in 480p. I'm not even joking. It was filmed as 480p and it was stretched to be standard definition. But anyways, Cillian decides to go into a church, and this is the first time we end up seeing how devastating this outbreak is, because the first thing Cillian sees is hundreds of bodies. And any normal person, when he sees 100 bodies, his natural reaction would be, please tell me this is a nightmare. But Cillian's reaction is, hello? A couple of zombies are like, hey, what's up? He hears some noise coming from the door, and turns out it's a freaking infected father. Same thing I call my dad when he has the flu. But the father is tweaking AF because he's infected, and Cillian decides to smack him in the face. And then he's like,
oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Same thing I say after I cheat on my girlfriend. But anyways, now the most ferocious zombies are running after Cillian. In pop culture in general, there are two types of zombies. The ones that are boring and slow and easy to beat AF, and the ones that 28 days later basically invented, and it's the running zombies. The ones that are super smart and are able to climb. They're basically the type of zombies that would make me unalive myself as soon as we have an outbreak and I know these are the types of zombies that I'm against. As Cillian is running away from the zombies, he's actually saved by a girl called Selena and Mark. And they save him by blowing up a gas station. You know that expensive liquid gas that there's always a shortage of when there's an outbreak that you need for cars and transportation? Let's blow it up just for the fun of it. Anyway, Selena briefs Cillian. They basically find out that Cillian was delivering a package on a bicycle and he was in an accident that put him in a hospital just before the outbreak began. And then he woke up 28 days later in this moment. And she gives him a reality check, tells him that almost everybody in the UK is infected or dead, tells him that even the government has been overrun, tells him that it's very dangerous outside. And of course, Cillian's first thought is, I want to see my parents. So they end up helping him go to his parents' house, and when they get there, they smell a really bad smell, and it's not because of his parents' dirty socks. No, they're actually dead. And they left him a letter saying, we left you sleeping, now we're sleeping with you. Don't wake up. Imagine your parents writing a letter for you saying, stay dead. You don't want to see this, bro. Later on, the trio decide to sleep in the same room because it's safer, but Cillian has a better idea, to go to the kitchen and light up a candle so that all the zombies outside can come to the party. And that's exactly what happens. He literally gets jumped by two zombies, and luckily for him, he gets saved by Selena and Mark. But as she's asking him if he got any of the blood in his mouth, we literally see Mark wiping the blood off of his open womb. Selena looks at him and she's like, see ya! and freaking pepperonis his ass. The brutality of the way she killed him makes me feel like it was a personal thing. Like, he was dead from the first hit. I don't know why she needed to keep stabbing him in the face like that. He's not even infected. She just wanted to get rid of his ass. Anyway, Selena tells him that they have to leave now because as soon as one zombie comes, other zombies always follow. So while they're walking outside, they end up seeing Christmas lights. But as they come up the stairs, they hear scary zombie sounds. But Selena is very smart, so she says,
"Quiet.
It's infected.
Quiet! Stop talking, there's infected! Lower your voice! Why aren't you lowering your voice? There's zombies! Anyways, the zombies actually end up hearing Selena and follow them upstairs. And Selena is a red pill girl because she literally forgets about Cillian and runs upstairs very quickly as Cillian is like, no, please, la polizia. They end up getting saved by a guy who invites them in, and turns out it's Frank and Hannah, his daughter. Frank is very wholesome in this movie. He's really nice, kind. He even offers them drinks and brings out the nice cups. But the problem is that they've pretty much ran out of water. Frank is literally trying to collect water from buckets, but none of it is working. He tells Cillian to chuck the shit out of the window.
She threw her poop out the window
because the toilet doesn't flush. I mean, I would end my life right there. I don't even need to get killed by the zombies. Later on, Selena and Cillian are talking about the family. She says that the family needs them more than they need each other, as if Frank didn't literally save her life 2 minutes ago. Ungrateful. And on the balcony, the guys listen to a broadcast of something called the 40-second blockade, which is a group of survivors and soldiers that were able to create a sanctuary for people. And they're inviting people in to come and live a normal life, which is a very nice offer that Selena doesn't believe in. She says it's all bullshit, even though Frank is telling her, now that we are 4 people, we can actually finally leave the apartment because we're running out of supplies. If we don't leave, we're basically gonna die here, so we better leave. And Frank's daughter is smart AF because she tells her, we don't need you more than you need us. We both need each other. I don't know, that sounded more profound in my head. Anyways, it manages to convince Selena. So they end up trying to go to the 40-second blockade. But they actually choose the scariest road in the world, which is a dark tunnel underground. God knows what's inside. But luckily for them, Frank is driving and he's not a woman. So he manages to drive successfully. That was only a joke. Don't get triggered.
What a joker.
But he ends up getting a flat tire. And as his daughter is fixing it, they see a bunch of rats running away. And turns out it was just Asmongold's pets. Okay, I'm joking. The rats were actually running from zombies. But the group manages to skedaddle just seconds before the zombies actually reach them. And on the way to the 40-second blockade, they manage to find a supermarket. And this is where the movie turns into Friends. It stops being a horror movie about zombies and it becomes so comedic. And this is where we also find out that Frank is an alcoholic. But they manage to get the supplies that they need. And later on, they stop for gas. This is where not blowing up the gas station would have been nice. When Cillian sees a cheeseburger place, he decides to ignore Selena and go inside. The junk food epidemic is getting out of hand. And inside, he finds an infected kid who literally, as he's being pinned down, says... Even zombie kids are freaking brats. But Cillian manages to get out unharmed, and when the group reaches an open field and decides to take a break, Selena manages to predict that Cillian will get rich off of Oppenheimer because she kisses him and declares a romance. But when the group finally arrives to Manchester, they find that the entire city is burning. And when they reach the 40-second blockade, they see that it's completely abandoned. And Frank gets super angry when Selena tells him that we need to move. He says, go fucking where, you bitch? Okay, he might have not said you bitch, but he's pretty angry. And throughout the entire movie so far, Frank was the wholesome one. He was the one who's always kind, offering people things, being nice to everybody. But now he's super frustrated because it was his only hope. So he decides to go to the side and deal with his rage. But unluckily for him, he gets angry at a crow who's eating off of a zombie's corpse. And when Frank scares the crow off, it literally leads to Frank getting blood from the virus into his eye, and that's where it's over for him. And this is one of the most infamous scenes of zombie transformation in the world. His daughter comes and asks if he's fine, and he pushes her away, tells her to get away from him as he turns. And when Selena says that he's infected and that Cillian should kill him, soldiers from the 40-second blockade come and shoot his ass. And he got shot so many times, they used 20% of the movie's budget on the squib effects for his body. But that didn't stop his daughter after his death from saying, yes, sweetheart? You want something? That was the most horrible British accent I've ever heard. Hannah, did you know about today's video sponsor, Surfshark VPN? Did you guys know that when you use public Wi-Fi and you log into any website, hackers can use something called man-in-the-middle attacks to steal your login information? And this is why it's very important to use something like Surfshark VPN. It's an app and a browser extension that encrypts your data and enables you to change your IP to virtually any location because they have over 3,200 servers in over 100 countries. I personally could not survive without a VPN. VPN because of my travel videos, whether in airports or cafes to protect my information. Some countries that I've traveled to don't even allow you to go to YouTube without using a VPN. And people there aren't able to watch their favorite YouTuber Rami Roy. What the helly? Plus, I can use it to change my location and access any TV show or movie, regardless of whether or not it's blocked in that specific country. I did a quick comparison on ChatGPT between the most popular VPN providers right now, and it turns out that Surfshark VPN currently has the most competitive prices, and it's the only one that allows you to log into as many accounts as you want. Plus, they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Try it out and see whether or not you like it. Just use the code RAMIROY at checkout and you get 4 free extra months, or just click the first link in the description. Thank you so much, Surfshark VPN. Anyways, the group gets taken to a mansion of some sort and they meet the boss commander of the soldiers. There are some sussy signs from the soldiers. For example, Cillian sees them playing with his car, not giving it any attention or love. The boss commander takes Cillian on a tour around the mansion and turns out he actually has a zombie slave.
Stop. What do you mean by that?
A freaking infected guy that they managed to knock out and keep as a prisoner for some reason. Well, the boss says it's for research, but that's sussy AF. We see Selena crying in front of Cillian because she's worried about Hannah having to cope with her dead dad. Cillian's like, haha, you're so sexy when you cry. And he makes out with her. They're literally making out over Hannah crying over her dead dad. Later on, everybody in the entire mansion, including the soldiers, are having a dinner. But there's one sussy guy who's misogynistic. He's like making weird jokes. And even when they get attacked during the dinner, he goes and kills the zombies with his soldier friends. But he's just too happy about killing those zombies. And it seems as if he's sadistic and immature. After they defeat the zombies, he literally takes the knife from her hand and makes a YouTube video speedrunning an SA lawsuit. But there's another guy who's actually nice and defends Selena, 6.2 by the way. The boss comes in and apologizes for this behavior. Juta, what is this behavior?
You don't tell me what to do.
You're dying for it.
And he actually ends up giving Selena back her knife, but that doesn't stop Cillian from being angry AF. He's feeling mad creepy vibes from this place and he wants to get the fuck out. And this is when he finds out the big realization. The boss tells him that they literally sent the broadcast about the 40-second blockade after the soldiers got depressed and wanted to unalive themselves, and they needed to provide them women. And they literally made the broadcasts to attract people, including women. When Cillian finds out, he's like, and when he goes to get Selena and Hannah and get the fuck out of this place, he gets knocked out. And the boss tells him, I offered you a chance to join us, but we can't let the girls go. Turns out the boss has a lot of baby oil in his cabinet. The good guy is also not happy about this, so they manage to surround him and trap him as well. And they both get taken to a place where previous other guys have been executed. And when these two guys are about to execute these two guys, the misogynistic soldier gets angry at the other soldier because he shot the nice soldier who's 6.2. And Cillian uses that moment to escape from being executed, and he actually literally hides between the dead bodies. This is how it feels like when I go to the gym at 6 p.m. But Cillian manages to jump over the wall that's keeping the zombies from going to the mansion. And the soldiers decide to leave him because they know that there's no way he'll be able to escape, and he's left alone with the zombies. Meanwhile, the girls are literally getting abused. The commander boss is like, hey, yo, what is these lesbian clothes? Go put on some feminine shit, and tells the soldiers to take them to change their clothes. But Selena is smart and she manages to convince the soldiers to leave their room by kissing them for some reason. Convincing 100. And she literally gives Hannah chill pills. She literally describes them as pills that make her not care. I don't know what these are, but I want some. Turns out that the protagonist of the movie is actually not dead. Who would have thought? Cillian literally lures in the soldiers by running an alarm in the 40-second blockade, and he manages to kill one of them. And the boss commander gets freaked out when he sees his dead body and sees multiple other zombies that came because of the alarm, so he runs back to the mansion. At the same time that Cillian does a 100 IQ move and he frees the hostage zombie by shooting at his collar. The hostage zombie is like, these guys created a bond between each other. Back at the mansion, Hannah and Selena are being guarded by these two soldiers, and this soldier in particular is a freaking pussy because he gets frightened by every sound. But Hannah is literally scarier than zombies now because she's high as fuck. She's like,
They're dead.
and you're gonna be next.
Bruh. Turns out these pills make you predict the future because the hostage zombie literally breaks in and turns this soldier into spaghetti lasagna. And it's clear the other soldier has never played any video game that has shooting in it because he's literally blind AF. He lets his friend soldier die and get sprayed by blood and turn into a zombie while the other two girls escape. And Hannah is still high AF. She's like,
Don't worry, I feel fine.
this is the emotional state that I aspire to have all the time. We see the pussy soldier escape and this guy turn into a zombie. And then this guy comes and he's like, hey, I'm confident AF and I'm gonna kill you. But too bad he gets repepperonied by the other soldier that just turned. So the mansion is now infested with zombies. It's a freaking madhouse. But this guy is lucky AF, the pussy soldier, because he manages to escape from the hostage zombie. Psych, he literally gets stabbed in the stomach by Cillian because of that god-awful omelet he made earlier. I'm joking, it's because he was about to kill Cillian earlier in the movie. The boss commander finally arrives to the mansion and he sees the dead bodies and he's like, when did this become a whorehouse? The misogynistic soldier is still only thinking about one thing. Guys only want one thing and it's disgusting because the misogynistic soldier literally has Selena and he's trying to kidnap her for some reason, even though the house is fully infested with zombies. And he would have wished a zombie killed him because Cillian, what he did to him is worse than any zombie could have ever done. Of course, Selena, after she sees Cillian mutilate the misogynistic guy, she's like, that turned me on. Let's make out. Even though they killed the misogynistic guy, the house is still ran by zombies. So they try to escape and get into a car only to find the boss commander there and he literally shoots Cillian in the stomach. And Hannah does a weird flex where she reverses the car back into the mansion, perfectly timed with the hostage zombie to rip pepperoni the commander boss's ass. She communicated with him on Telegram. And after the trio came to the mansion and literally destroyed the entire infrastructure and turned everyone into zombies, which is understandable after literally getting SA'd in it, they need to escape from the mansion, so they end up ramming into the gate. And in the next shot, we see them in a house near a mountain and Cillian is okay now. And it seems as if they put the car in the GTA garage because how is that car in pristine condition? Nobody knows. But they hear an airplane coming by and they end up setting up a hello sign for it and the airplane sees it and turns back and presumably their lives are safe. But not safe for long because literally in the sequel, 28 weeks later, we meet this group that's hiding from zombies outside in a barricaded cottage. But mainly, these two lovebirds. When the zombie outbreak began, they sent their kids outside of Britain to make sure that they're safe. And they're stuck with these random strangers. This girl's boyfriend left 5 days ago and never came back and she's still expecting him to come back. Delulu much? And this guy is making fun of her. He's like, newsflash, your boyfriend is not coming back. And if he does, he's gonna eat you up and not in the way that you want. But as the group of survivors are eating, they hear a knock on the door and a kid shouting to let him in. And when the woman is about to open the door for the kid, the dad warns her not to do so. There's literally zombies outside. But she does so anyways, and when the kid gets in, he says that he's being followed by his parents who are zombies. And the Delulu girl had one job, not to open the windows, but she fumbles it and the zombies literally see it and bite her ass, endangering everyone in the entire house. She gets bitten and tries to attack this guy who was just making fun of her boyfriend for not coming back. I guess the zombies still hold personal grudges. But anyways, she gets unalived by the father. The two old couple get overran by zombies while we see this guy managing to escape. And now there's only the couple and the kid trying to escape. The father is trying to get her to leave the kid behind, but she disagrees. And when she goes to the kid, a zombie barges into the room. The wife looks at her husband and asks him to help them, but then he's like, y'all got this, and dipped out. He basically made the fateful decision to abandon his wife. And you can literally see him as he's running away, looking back at her as she screams his name. And you might think by these zombies that are following him that it's freaking Jover for him, but he manages to find the boat with this guy on it. But unfortunately for this guy, the zombies that are following him are literally Olympic swimmers because they managed to catch him while in the river, but this guy manages to be the only one that survives. And this is where we get introduced into the timeline of the zombie outbreak. On day 15, Britain is quarantined, so it's surrounded and nobody can leave it. And on the 28th day, we saw what was happening. Britain was literally destroyed by the rage virus. But 5 weeks later, since the country is quarantined, all the zombies died because of starvation. If it was in the US, it would have taken them double that amount because everybody's overweight. Okay, I'm joking. Don't cancel me. 11 weeks into the outbreak, NATO enters London and kills off all of the zombies. So on week 24, reconstruction begins and they want to repopulate Britain. And this is why 28 weeks later, we see the children who are the main characters, who are kids of this couple, and they're being brought back to Britain to repopulate it. More particularly, they're being brought back to an area called District 1. The woman tells them that this area is safe, but please do not leave these borders at all because we haven't gone through anything outside of that area and there's still a lot of infected bodies. Sounds good to me. We also see that the dad also made it to District 1 and they finally regroup. And the dad is like, I missed you so much. Almost as much as I miss your mom after I literally let her die. Later on, he gives them a bullshit story on what happened and skips the part where he literally closes the door in her face. And the kid is like,
Was there nothing you could do?
Oh my God, bro.
I love how the director had to spoon feed us that this guy is a bad guy. In District 1, there's a doctor military woman who is worried that the outbreak will still come back. But this guy is overconfident and he's like, if it comes back, we'll make sure to destroy all the zombies. Foreshadowing alert. But the problem is that the kid doesn't have Instagram because he wants to see a photo of his mom or else he will forget her face. So of course, the only solution to that is to literally sneak out of District 1, the only confirmed zombie-free place in the entire UK, just to go to their house and pick up a picture of her. We see the kids sneaking into the dangerous area and they don't even tell their dad. Best condom commercial, but luckily for them, they get spotted by Hawkeye from the Avengers. When the kids arrive to their old house and the child goes upstairs to the attic, he sees a disgusting can that's full of worms, so he does what any sane normal person would do, bring it up to his face and smell it. But not only do they find the pictures, they also find the actual mom. But now the mom seems to be tweaking AF and she hugs him too tightly but ends up hurting him enough for him to escape and then get caught by the soldiers sent by Hawkeye's friend. And they take back the mom with them to District 1 where she takes what seems to be the first shower she's ever taken in her entire life. What the hell is this reaction? What the helly? And while the doctor, military woman, tries to take a blood sample from her, she sees a zombie bite. And the military guy sees it as well. I love how the doctor, military woman, asks her if she's ever been in contact with any zombies.
Bitch, is you blind?
We see the dad looking for his children, and when the soldiers tell him, we found your children, he's like, really? Thank you so much. But then they tell him, we found your wife, and he's like, bro had the most peaceful 28 weeks of his life.
La pregunta es de una falta de gusto tremenda.
Meanwhile, the doctor is examining the woman's blood through a microscope and she finds out that she is infected, but she seems to be immune. But of course, the military guy is a military guy, so he just wants to kill anything that he doesn't understand. Dumb military guy trope is like, I don't understand this. I must kill it! Because the dad feels guilty because he left his wife behind and he's trying to redemify himself, he goes inside using his janitor card and apologizes to his wife. And luckily for him, she says, I love you to him. And as he comes closer and starts making out with her, the doctor says that the woman still carries the virus and it can transfer to other people through saliva. That is like, oh crap. He has the most disturbing transformations in the world and ends up unaliving his wife, who's not even able to defend herself. And the most disturbing part is that they brought this woman deep inside the safe zone that doesn't have any infection in it, not knowing that she carries the virus. And now we have a zombie in the safest District 1 in Britain. But not only that, until this part, she is the only source of immunity and the only pathway to find a vaccine. After the dad kills half of the freaking staff, everybody's on high alert and code red is announced. We see the soldier tell the kids, I'll be back in a moment. And when Pinocchio lies, his nose grows. But when this guy lies, he gets killed by a freaking zombie and he comes back as a zombie. So I guess technically he didn't lie. And as the kids are freaking scared AF, the doctor comes in and saves them because she knows that the kid who has his mother's eyes might be their only chance for a vaccine. And because code red is announced, all the civilians need to be separated into the containment area. And the kid wanders off and goes to the containment area with the other people. The doctor pretty much realizes that she's lost her only chance of the vaccine. And luckily for all these people, the dad comes in and he's like, oh shit, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. The military pretty much locked the survivors with the zombie, and now it's like shooting fish in a barrel for him. He starts analyzing them one by one. But the kid is the only one who has the IQ higher than the room's temperature because he manages to hide in the vents while his dad literally destroys everything under him. And as everybody's panicking and they escape the containment area, the military guy is like, we've lost control. The woman is like,
If only you had listened to me.
it's all because of the patriarchy. And while in the beginning he orders the soldiers to only shoot the infected, he now switches it to shoot everybody you see, and they start literally killing more civilians than zombies. Even the zombies are like, wait, why are these guys shooting their friends? It's like, at least kill one zombie. The doctor talks to the soldiers and she's like, yo, this kid is important, he might have the vaccine. If he dies, it's Jover for everybody, which makes Hawkeye from the Avengers save him when he almost gets attacked by a zombie. There's one sussy guy who sees all the civilians running, but he focuses on the kid and he's like, come here. Bruh, that room should be inspected for baby oil. Anyways, the kids finally get reunited with the doctor and Hawkeye comes down as well. He tells them that District 1 is about to get freaking air fried and that they should all go get picked up in the helicopter. But as they're running away, a sniper freaking shoots and kills 3 people because it's still code red and they have an order to kill everybody. And Hawkeye asks this guy to run in zigzag so he could get a shot at the sniper, but he's literally pussying out, so the kid manages to do it. Kid who is the only chance for humanity to find the cure, by the way. And Hawkeye manages to kill the sniper. And this guy gave the ick to every woman around him. But the kid sees that he's being followed by the dad. He's like, you remind me of my wife, and I'm about to end your life. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. Anyways, everything gets bombed, just like they did to my country, but the survivors managed to survive because they hid inside tunnels. We see everybody getting freaking roasted. We see the mom in the lab getting cooked, and they're still in danger because a lot of zombies survive. In the morning, we see the kid asking,
Do you think Mum's still alive?
she's like, your mom is cooked. The doctor woman explains to Hawkeye how the kid's life is more important than her life and his life. Hawkeye is like, ahaha, you're so sexy when you're detrimental. But suddenly, Hawkeye's friend comes in with a helicopter and he's like, who the hell are these people? The pussy guy holds on to his helicopter. So this guy does the only next logical thing. Literally throw the pussy guy to the zombies. And then we see this scene. The chopper actually chopping heads is crazy. Hawkeye's friend tells him to ditch the survivors and meet him somewhere else. And while Hawkeye is running away with the kids and the doctor, he sees the soldiers who literally have chemical weapons and who are killing everybody around them. So he makes the decision to sacrifice himself to push the car, simply because of the talk that he had with the doctor earlier about the kid having the vaccine. As he sacrificed himself, he was like 6.2, by the way. Imagine if the story that the doctor told to the soldier is all bullshit. The kid is just a normal person. Bro sacrificed himself for nothing. Anyways, the kid's biggest challenge now is that they have a woman driving them. Okay, I'm sorry, this is the last time. I get 3 horrible jokes per video. The real actual challenge is the freaking soldiers who are trying to kill them for some reason. They suspect that they're zombies. I don't know about you, but I've never seen a zombie drive a car so well. The doctor decides to drive into the metro tunnel so that she could get away from the heli. What the heli? And in a really scary scene, she starts guiding the kids in pitch black darkness as we hear zombie screeches. And it turns out that those zombies are actually the kid's dad who decided to freaking follow them and rip pepperonis the doctor. But luckily for them, he doesn't bite her, so she doesn't turn into a zombie. But now the kids are alone in the metro tunnels with their dad. And later on, the dad manages to catch up to the kid and he's like, you're spending too much time playing PlayStation, and bites his son. Reasonable reaction. But then the daughter comes in and she's like, this is for not letting me go to the Taylor Swift concert, and kills her dad. The kid runs away from his sister thinking that he's gonna turn, but we see that he has the same genetic thing that makes his mom immune. The kids end up meeting Hawkeye's friend and they manage to escape this whole thing. And without any spoilers, I went to the cinema to watch 28 Years Later, and still, after 28 years, they still have the freaking virus. Who would have guessed? But this time, the main character is a kid who's trying to find a cure for his sick mom, so he needs to leave the safe island that doesn't have any zombies into the unknown world that's full of zombies. And a matter of fact, it has alpha zombies, basically zombies that watch Andrew Tate. I do recommend watching it if you're not depressed, because it's really a dark movie. This video took me so long to make. If you don't believe me, here's an outtake, so please subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. And in the end of the video, and by the end of the 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 video, I'm gonna go to the cinema and tell you whether or not it's worth the hype.